Hey everybody, I'd like to share my Anvil Foundry system with you. I'll roll it out here on my garage brewer. There it is. This is a collection of different parts from my different brew systems throughout the years. Got an old kegel there with some welded on legs, bottom drain. It's got two electric elements in it. That's an old pot there as well. Got storage on the bottom. There's the kegel. That's about 8,000 watts of power for the hot liquor tank. Feeds down into the foundry. I have it set up now for what we call underletting in the low oxygen brewing space. So when we start our mash, we bring the water in from the bottom. Here's a custom lid I made so I can have an opening and closing gap. Now that's another thing I do that's different from the normal foundry usage. I use this false bottom instead of the mash basket that the unit comes with. I kind of altered this item is for the Brewzilla, and I altered the leg so it would fit in the foundry. It works great. I use it along with the Wilshire Brewer bag. I've been having really good luck with it. Here's the unit set up in recirculation mode. So during the mash, I'd be running wort up through the silicone hose to our first item that's kind of special. This is a mash cap. So this sits on top of the wort and lets the recirculation flow through, pushes it back up. And that sort of completely seals off the top of the mash bed. You can see how it fits real nice and snug there. And then we just run that through the entire mash. After the mash out step, I would disconnect that hose and I run all the wort into this holding pot over here. It also has a mash cap. Well, that one doesn't look as good. That's sort of a homemade lid attempt at making a good good mash cap, but it's functional. Now when that's full, I run that out the back, which then gravity feeds down to a pump, which that pump right there, it's going to shoot it back up into the foundry, and that gives me a chance to clean out the foundry in between mash and boil. Get rid of all the sediment. There it is, and that is also attached to another mash cap. And I put that on before I run hot wort into the boil kettle, and it will stay on until I reach about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I just realized how dirty my boil kettle is. I cleaned it the day after shooting this, and I usually don't let it get that dirty, but I must not have been adding enough PBW in there. Okay, so that takes us on to the boil. Next item is the chiller. Now this is the chiller that came with the unit, but I decided to change it a little bit because it wasn't sitting all the way in the bottom. So I cut the thing up, and first was going to have a welder fix it, and he mangled it, so then I just went to silicone tubing to extend it. As you can see on this next shot coming up, as it lays in there, it's going to be completely on the bottom. There we go. Now to aid in the chilling and the speed, I have a stirrer. So that's I think 30 RPM motor that's on that stir arm, and it fits right in the middle of the chiller. It's just right on there. I have a little power supply sitting right there. It just plugs right in. There's the motor right there. Bought it off of eBay, and it sits right in the middle of the coils. And it really helps a lot, really speeds it up. Next, I made this little contraption to help with cleanup. As you can see, the foundry just kind of sits right on it, and all the stuff can drain out, and you can scrub it out. And there it is. That's my Anvil Foundry system, kind of modified for low oxygen brewing.